What's going on, everyone? My name's Mech. I'm coming to you guys with another video. Um, I just have some quick thoughts I want to spill out to you guys. I come out to my car because it's quiet. I don't know. It's snowy outside. It's snowy outside. I don't know if you guys can see, but yeah. Um, I just had I just had some thoughts to spill to you guys. I feel like I need to make another video. And it's been pertaining to a common theme that I talk about quite a lot. Um, Mainly because this topic has plagued me for quite a while, and it it's just something that needs to get solved on my end of the spectrum. So um, basically, it's about this idea of wanting to do something slash like um, back goes back to like nihilism, productivity. It's a lot of the same. It's all connected. The way the INTJ brain works is I don't know. The way mostly it's pretty much the way NI works. It's it's sort of like a web. Imagine a web. And so a lot of thoughts end up connected together. And so I don't really know what this topic would be called, whatever. Okay, but anyway. So the main thing is this, okay? It's this belief that now you have different kinds of people. You got religious people, you got non-religious people, you got varying beliefs across the board, but the general consensus among different people, it varies, but God, I can't get my words out. Okay, so the main thing is that there's people who believe life has no meaning, and there's people who believe life has meaning. So, take that for what you will, but a lot of atheists or, people, at least a lot of people on this channel would say that life has no meaning. Now, here's the deal, though. So, when you have this belief that life has no meaning, it sort of can infect your ability to do other things in productive ways. And what do I mean by that? I mean, here's the deal. If life has no meaning, then you can justify bad decisions by just saying, oh, it doesn't matter anyway. And so this can sort of lead to a loop of really a bad life, okay? And so the main point of this video I'm trying to get across to you guys is that we know that the truth is that nothing matters anyway, but that's not a good place to live. That's not a good way to live. That's not a good thing to think all the time. It's not only unhealthy to think, but if you build a lifestyle based on that mindset, it'll lead to bad things. People say, accept nihilism, accept it. Don't stop denying it. But I don't think this is about accepting or denial. It's about get the fuck away from it. I'm honestly telling you to avoid it. Get away from it. Because the thing is it's sort of like some places are nice to visit, but they're not good places to stay. If you visit certain countries for a week, you might think it's very beautiful, but after a while, you're like, hold on, there's fucking bugs in the sand that poison you. The people are, all trying to scam you. The pollution is actually washing up to the shore. Certain places you'd be like, okay, this is not a good place to live. So it's the same thing with nihilism. Not even nihilism. Fuck that. It's the same thing with this idea that nothing matters anyway. Nothing matters anyway. This shit is preached up and down. People want to talk about this shit nonstop. Okay, nothing matters anyway. Okay, here's the deal. Nothing does matter anyway. Okay, you should accept that as truth, but don't carry it with you everywhere you go. So the main thing I'm trying to say is I live a better life personally if I am under the impression that there's winners and losers in life. The second I start to think everyone is a loser, my life gets drastically worse. And so not only my quality of life experience, but like my productivity levels, the things I accomplish, they all go down in the gutter. And so the question is there winners or losers? You can go ahead and answer that question on your own, but you have to also ask yourself, what is the effect of believing that thing? Because sometimes it's not about what is true. It's about what you get from believing that something is true. It's the response you get by believing something is true. So for example, not all women will cheat. right? But it might be in the male's best interest to believe that all women will cheat because it'll alter their decision-making process when it comes to the dating game in a way that actually attracts women that don't cheat. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes it's more about the effect you get from believing something than it is like whether something's actually true. And so here's the deal, is we know nothing matters anyway. Now put that in a box, keep it in the corner, but don't ever visit it. You see, you want to then alter your belief and ask questions and base your life experience around a way of living that actually makes your life good. Because if you want your life to be worth living, you're not going to push yourself or discipline yourself in any way. Not to mention most people don't even discipline. They mostly just rely on motivation, which is another topic I'll get into at some point. But you're never going to do that if you live in this dark zone, so to speak. So what I'm saying is that my life becomes more bearable when I believe that there is winners and losers in life, and when I believe that there's a such thing as a good thing that I'm doing, a productive thing that I'm doing, a right and a wrong, so to speak. I'm not talking about right and wrong in societal's terms. I'm talking about right and wrong in my terms. I don't give a fuck about, societal norms. I mean, at least I actually think it's a good thing if you guys strive to get away from those. Because the thing is like, yes, they're going to be pushed on you your whole life, but if you're going to develop yourself at a greater rate if you just only consider what the best course of action is for you. I'm not saying to go harm other people. I'm saying don't conform to social norms because it inhibits productivity. Okay? Now here's the deal. When you start thinking nothing matters anyway, then there's no such thing as productive and unproductive. There's no such thing as good or bad or morals. This is the kind of stuff that leads to school shootings. There's no such thing as right or wrong, losers or winners and losers, okay? So what I'm saying is, even if everyone's going to the same place, even if, technically, no matter if you're a billionaire or you sat around watching anime all day, we're both going to the same place or whatever. Technically, that's true, and you should know that and use that as a coping mechanism to not fear death so much. But at the same time, you should live life as if there is winners and there is losers, because it leads to better habits. It leads to longer term planning, which rewards you greatly in real life. It just leads to things that you're not going to get if you live under this impression that is true, but it's infectious. You see what I'm saying? It's not that nihilism is false. It's that the life you're going to live, if you use here's the thing, it's more of counter arguments it's more of nihilistic counter arguments. It's sort and it's kind of cold in here, guys. It's sort of like, let's say, I want to go do something that is ambitious. Well, there's always a nihilistic counter argument there to that's going to beat your original argument on why you should go and do that thing, that is going to go and prevent you from doing that thing. So the thing is that it's an unbeatable argument. That's the problem. That's the problem with nothing matters anyway. That's the problem with it, is that if you propose something, anything to do on this planet, it can always be defeated by, it doesn't matter anyway. And so that justifies having a bad life. And now even a bad life could be, say, there's no such thing. Everyone has, like bad lives or good life or whatever, whatever you want to attach to it, because if nothing can matter, then you can't have a bad life. But the thing is like, you don't have a lot of time here. Life is actually quite short in the grand scheme of things. And if you're going to be here, you might as well live the kind of life that you might as well live I don't know. It just seems to me that the kind of life that is going to be offered to you when you live by the nihilistic counter arguments isn't worth living. It's not worth living that life. And I'm not saying that building a life that is worth living is easy, or something that everyone obtains. I would actually argue mostly everyone on the planet has lives that aren't worth living, and that it would be better if they had never been born. And they're just under the delusion that their life is worth living because it's a novel experience to not existing. But I think in general, there is a possibility for everyone to get to that self-actualized stage. And I'm not saying to go and conform to that idealistic version of yourself. I'm just saying don't live by this nihilistic counter argument to everything. And it's almost like I'm saying don't live by truth. It's almost like I'm saying that, which bothers me as an INTJ or someone who seeks truth to an unreal level. I'm almost telling you not to live by the truth here, in some sense, because of the effect it'll have on you emotionally. It's kind of ridiculous. That's kind of I can't believe I'm even spouting shit like that. But like, the bottom line is, like, I've dealt with this beast for the better part of a year. And I just personally think that living by this mindset that nothing matters anyway, it makes your life so much worse. That it's worth it to believe an alternative that, there are such actions that are better than others. You see what I'm saying? So, I'm not saying to go be religious. I'm not saying to go, live by some ideal, some societal ideal. And I'm not saying to not indulge in natural impulses or whatever, or to completely avoid them. I mean, I am saying that somewhat, but it does seem to me like every time I go back to this self-disciplined mood, self-disciplined worldview, so to speak, that it just gets shattered by this idea that, oh, your progress isn't worth anything. And so I can't keep letting this plague me for years on end. Like, it needs to go. So, and then it's always some shaming shit. Like, it's always some, shame on you for not being able to believe that nothing matters anyway, and then still being able to go build those things that you are going to build if you believe that there's winners or losers. Shame on you for not being headstrong enough. But that's also kind of bullshit, because, like, no one chose to have a certain level of emotional sensitivity. And I'm not even claiming, I'm like, the whole point here is that I'm pretty emotionally headstrong and that most things don't bother me. But this is a beast like no other. And after a while, you need to, stop trying to fight the fucker and just leave its territory. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I sound stupider than I think, or that I thought I would. But I think that this is worth noting, that I just think that the effect that believing that there is winning decisions and losing decisions has on you is positive enough that you should live by that and not by this idea that nothing matters anyway. But at least go through a phase, or accept, or come to terms with the fact that nothing matters anyway, at least in some way, shape, or form. Don't be under the complete delusion, but, eventually, I think that's the bigger part of this, is that you should be able to go and accept both sides, or you should live in, I don't, maybe not live in both sides, but it's almost as if, like, all the value I could have possibly gotten by believing that no decision I make matters has already been sapped. Like, I've already fucked off and slacked off for so long. You use it to slack off and watch shows all day or do this and that. It's like there's no value after a certain point. But and I'm not saying that there is definite value by believing that there's a such thing as a productive decision, but what I'm saying is I'm here to go find out if there is, because I've already sapped all the value I could possibly ever get by believing that nothing matters anyway. And And yeah, I'm gonna close it on that. That at this point I would just be going in circles. But yeah, I hope you guys like this video. I'm in the car. I can show you guys outside right now. It's cold. I don't know. Does this turn around? Does this turn? I don't know if it does. It's cold out. It's snowy. Yeah, it snowed a lot here in Michigan. But yeah, that's the video, guys. It's probably windy on the mic now, but I'll try to make some more videos soon. And until next time.